Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our inaugural event for this 2017 homecoming. Before we get started, I'd encourage everyone, including our platform party, to be present with today's activities and silence your cell phones. Students, these young alumni that we are about ready to recognize, Erin Cassidente, Gina Railsback McGowan, and Nathanael Lander, exemplify the McPherson College experience and our mission to develop whole persons through scholarship, participation, and service. Take note at their lives, take note at their character. This is the ideal McPherson College graduate. So without further ado, our Young Alumni Awards presentation.
Welcome to the Comedy Central roast of Herb Smith. No, actually, I'm not supposed to introduce him. I'm introducing Erin Cassidente from the class of 1997. She's the daughter of Ron and Carolyn Cassidente, a third-generation Bulldog. Erin was a resident of the... Nice. Which
Our students are too respectful to understand.
I know, they don't know.
They're like,
Hang on, I'm on a roll. She was the, I was just going to say, she was the resident of the infamous Fanistock Hall, which is known for campus pranks. She graduated with a degree in theater. She's the mother of 5 terrific children. Ayla, Ava, Anya, Aaliyah, and James. One of these things is not... It's a joke because it works both ways, because he's also the only boy, so it works. Let me start with the most obvious attribute. Erin is beautiful. It might not surprise you. Yes, she is. And it might not surprise you that she was a model, and I don't mean like a duck-lipped selfie model on her social media. I actually mean an actual model in Paris, like high fashion shiz. That was way before she came here and became a Bulldog. Well, actually, it wasn't way before. She went from modeling in Paris to starting her freshman year at McPherson College. So you can imagine the seamless transition that she had. N'est-ce pas? Hang on, actually, I'm a feminist. I can't believe I actually started an accolade by commenting on her physical beauty. That's kind of messed up, but don't worry, there's a point to that. She became a student at McPherson, and everybody wanted to talk with her. All the guys wanted to chat her up. Actually, some of the girls, too. Frankly, I'm pretty sure she had more men and women chat her up in the first month than I had in, like, the first 2 years that I was here on campus. So, what did she do? How did she deal with this place that society put her in? She could have taken the easy way out and selected a partner right away and earned that MRS degree that people sometimes come to college for. But instead, she shaved her head. Seriously, that was her response. She took her place in society and she kind of subverted it. I mean, I was talking to a mutual friend of ours recently about that shaved head incident, and when Erin did it, it wasn't like a Britney Spears meltdown moment at all. It was like a high fashion moment. People paid attention, and it was amazing. You know, she rocked that haircut more than most people could, and I still remember asking her why the heck she did something like that. And she said to me, "Watch and see how many people see my beauty now." She purposely chose an alternate path, and in doing so, she kind of schooled the entire campus at that time what beauty could actually be. I bring that up as a metaphor for Erin's take on life. Erin has always taken the road less traveled. She's used her inner beauty to care for this entire world. Her unique style of caring is what should be highlighted today. She takes her place in life that's given to her, and she subverts it and makes choices that always tend toward the unexpected. That happens in her career, in her family, and her friendships. She pushes boundaries of what's expected and what is the norm. And in doing so, she's taught society about difference. Our differences are what make us beautiful. Our differences are what should be celebrated. They're not what limit us. Actually, our differences are what make us collectively limitless. And in her work, she's created this space for difference for those of us that aren't perfect, or a better way to say that, for those of us that are human. Ralph Waldo Emerson did say, "Never lose an opportunity of seeing anything beautiful, for beauty is God's handwriting. Beauty is power. A smile is a sword. The best part of beauty is that which no picture can ever express. It must be felt with the heart." Erin lives with a full heart. Recently, Erin's work has led her to do amazing things as a doula and as a birth care advocate in the state of Wisconsin. Maybe some of you aren't familiar with the term doula. I know I wasn't when Erin first told me that she had found a passion for doula work. In simple terms, a doula is a birth advocate. It's a person who has been to multiple births and can speak up for the mother when the mother's kind of preoccupied with something else. Right? It's a little different from midwifery because doula work is centered on advocacy during the entire birthing cycle, early on, during the birth, and then even afterwards. Merriam-Webster in the dictionary cites the origin and etymology of the word to be from the modern Greek and literally meaning female servant, which reminds me of Matthew 20, verse 26b, right? "But whoever would be great among you must be your servant." In her doula work and her continued work with the birthing centers around Wisconsin, Erin is acting out the teachings of Jesus. She is literally being a female servant to hundreds of women, giving a voice to those without a voice. Her work is celebrated there in Wisconsin, and it's groundbreaking. In fact, I've read that other organizations are looking at her work, what she does with her birthing centers, to mirror similar programs in their own states. Birth advocacy is amazing and important work, and she's at the forefront of that. She's giving a voice to people when they need it most. She continues this theme with her service to the LGBTQIA community. One of her closest friends from high school, James Sablon, died of AIDS, and for over 20 years, Erin has promoted understanding and education about the LGBTQIA community. She graduated 20 years ago, but frankly, she's a better promoter and fundraiser for the college than some of us in this room. When I was organizing a student trip to London last year, Erin signed on as an alumni participant to show support for the trip, but then also recruited non-alumni to come on the trip as well. We had a close classmate of ours pass away in 2003. Erin worked to contact alumni out of the blue and gather funds for the alumni to plant butterfly bushes in the name of that student, that alum. Many of us have appreciated those bushes the last 2 years as what has seemed like an explosion of butterflies have gathered on our campus, so we're thankful for that. Did I also mention that she's preaching for the Mennonite Church up in Wisconsin? She's doing that as well. In fact, you could come to McPherson College Church of the Brethren this Sunday morning to hear her give a sermon that she's going to be doing in conjunction with her college roommate. There's a lot of things that she's doing for a theater major. I have to add that because I was a theater major too. Parenting author Diana Court writes, "If I don't know my options, I don't have any." With her work, Erin continues to find all the options. Her work has yet to limit her. Erin is what I would call a true Renaissance woman. She's a dancer, a model, an actress. She plays guitar and sings. She's even released a CD or two. She's a mother. She's a sister. She's a minister. She's a fighter. She's a friend. She cooks. She cleans. She balances her family life with amazing tact. She's an organizer and an actor. She's an entrepreneur. She's the common thread in your squad, the one that keeps you in touch with all of your other friends. And trust me, as you get older, that's a very important skill. There are so many things she does well, which makes her hard to label, hard to box, and hard to simplify, and frankly, I think she kind of likes it that way. When I tried to summarize Erin as a person, I decided to use the words of one of our shared favorite artists, Ani DeFranco, from her song, 32 Flavors. God help you if you're an ugly girl. Of course, too pretty is also your doom, because everybody harbors a secret hatred for the prettiest girl in the room. God help you if you're a phoenix and you dare rise up from the ash. 1,000 eyes will smolder with jealousy while you're just flying past. So squint your eyes and look closer. I'm not between you and your ambition. I'm a poster girl with no poster. I am 32 flavors and then some. And I'm beyond your peripheral vision, so you might want to turn your head, because someday you'll find you are starving from eating all of those words that you've said. Mr. President, for her exemplary work in her profession, community, and college, I hereby proudly present Ms. Erin Cassidente for the Young Alumni Award.
Wow, thank you, JD. I like myself even more now after that speech. Sounds pretty amazing. But I am truly honored by this recognition today. But I'm even more proud to say that I'm part of the McPherson College family. When I stepped foot on this campus a lifetime ago, I had no idea what I'd gotten myself into. A month prior to my arrival, as JD mentioned, I was living in Paris, and college wasn't even part of my plans. I credit my last-minute decision to attend Mac as one of the best accidental choices I've ever made. This place and the people who make it great changed my life, and they shaped the path that I walk on to this day. Every job, career choice, major decision that I've made was helped and guided by my time here, all with a degree in theater. So you could basically say I'm pretty good at faking it. But I almost didn't get that degree. My junior year, I seriously considered dropping out of college for a business opportunity that had presented itself. My parents, in a rare moment of interfering, told me it would be a huge mistake to quit. And thankfully, in a rare moment of foresight, I listened to them and graduated on time. This award is shared with the many people in my life who inspired me to be the best possible version of myself. Those professors who pushed me to reach farther, those mentors who shared their knowledge and their life experience, those friends who came to all my performances, the family who believed in me, and those few souls whose light burned out far too soon, yet left a lasting impression on my heart. Success is rarely achieved in a vacuum. It's a community effort. The friends I made in college are almost all still in my life. Many of them traveled here today in order to be with me. You heard them earlier, perhaps. And laugh at the speech if I messed up, but so far so good. My community of support that I found at MAC is still going strong. It's your community now. Put it to use. Make friends here, the kind that will present you with an award 20 years later and not embarrass the heck out of you. Partially because I have just as much dirt on him as he has on me, and I spoke second. Be kind to yourself and others. It matters, and it comes back around. Enjoy the little things, laugh out loud, laugh at yourself, laugh with others. Dance to the music, people, and pretend like nobody's watching, because they probably aren't. And as long as you're having fun, who cares? If you don't believe me, ask Professor Bowman to show you some of his famous 90s dance moves later. You're welcome. Most importantly, find what you love and then make a difference in your own little corner of the world. Maybe it's as the head of that Fortune 500 company, or maybe it's in a classroom teaching, or in a room witnessing the birth of a child. What matters most 20 years later might surprise you. Success for me comes more from helping others than from being recognized or idolized. But what will it be for you? Losing some really close friends far too young taught me that we just don't know how much time we'll have, so use it wisely. Don't let the setbacks and hard life experiences derail your sense of self. Don't be afraid to change as you grow, but don't lose the essence of what makes you special. I'm no longer sporting a shaved head, and I only wear my boots when I go out dancing. I've had 5 children, and I give sermons now. All things people might not have envisioned me doing 20 years ago. This is where they can laugh about that, because I know you're thinking that, guys. But I'm still recognizable by my peculiar laugh and the devious spark in my eyes. So be you. Do it well. No one else is going to do it better. And above all, seek a life useful, and you'll find a life that's worth living. Thank you.
Gina McGowan graduated from McPherson College in 1999 with a double major in elementary education and special education.
It might have been 97.
Baby. Do you know when you graduated? Okay. I changed it.
No, you changed it. Yeah, Sean is.
Okay.
We're both 97.
Both 97?
That's the 20 year we get.
Okay. Gina McGowan graduated from McPherson College in 1997, allegedly, with a double major in elementary education and special education. Gina's McPherson College experience was full. Student Activities Board, chamber singers, campus choir, and cheerleading. After graduating from McPherson, Gina served as an early childhood and special education preschool teacher for 4 years, while beginning her professional career in Quinter, Kansas, God's country. She also began her career of service as a Vacation Bible School lead director for Community Bible School with over 100 students in the program. I believe those were all the students in Quinter. The Quinter experience served as a springboard into her life's work of service when she and her husband Sean moved to Ellsworth in 2001. Teachers for Kids of the Kingdom, Kids with a Mission, Relay for Life, Camp Hope, Kansas Association of School Board Directors, Ellsworth County Health and Wellness are just a few examples of her commitment to service. Gina's service has not been limited to her church and local community. She has served on the front lines of her alma mater as an alumni board member for a total of 8 years. She has also been the voice in my ear behind the scenes of the McPherson College Annual Giving Day, Power Day. That's March 8th, 2018, for those of you wondering, and I know you are. March 8th, 2018. As I reflect on Gina's accolades, I was thinking that there's no way Gina is this good. No way. However, I do know this about Gina Railsback McGowan. Our world needs more of them. Our world needs more people willing to serve the youth and the elderly. Our world needs more cheerleaders. Did I mention she was a cheerleader back in the day? I think I did. She was also here last Sunday at Bulldog Madness cheering on our men and women's basketball program, so old habits die hard. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the apple of Gina's eye, the pride of Dighton, Kansas, a gentleman by the name of Sean McGowan, class of 1997. Thank you. Sean and Gina just celebrated their 20th wedding anniversary in July. Sean and Gina's parents both attended McPherson College, and it is my hope that their children, Parker and Cooper, will represent the next generation. President Schneider It gives me great pleasure to present Gina McGowan, class of 1997, for the McPherson College Young Alumni Award.
We were talking earlier that we had to follow the two actors, the basketball coach and the cheerleader. Thank you to McPherson College, President Michael Schneider, and fellow alumni for selecting me for this award. What an honor to be chosen to receive the Young Alumni Award. I remember sitting in this auditorium for Convo weekly. We had to make sure that not to lose our paper with our signature on it that we'd place in the basket on the way out of convocations. This is the first example of how young I am, as I'm certain that they've been scanning student IDs for years now. And I just recently found out you don't even have to be here, so thank you for showing up. As a student, I remember this particular awards convocation. Oh, they didn't know that?
You tell them for the first time every year.
Sorry. Thank you again for being here. Extra credit. Make sure that they scan your ID or fill out something so they know you were here. As a student, I remember this particular awards convocation as being interesting and listening to all of these old people present about all of the successes they'd had in their lives. They seemed to be really smart. They'd done so much in their careers and yet had time to give to their communities. It seemed that many were doctors, scientists who'd made groundbreaking discoveries, businessmen and women who'd moved quickly to the top of their company, missionaries who had traveled around the world, or teachers who'd continued their education and now had many master's degrees and were presenting about the newest studies and findings in education. A few years after graduation, I joined the Alumni Board of Directors here at the college, and I served for 2 terms. During these years of serving, I was invited to attend this same convo in recognition of the young alumni. The recipients were just as accomplished as I remembered, yet they didn't seem quite as old anymore. I can tell you that when you're not required to attend convo, and fellow alumni whom you were in class with are receiving the awards, it's a lot more fun and interesting. I was absolutely shocked when Monica called me last spring and said that I'd been nominated for this award. I shared some of my thoughts of the brilliant minds and extensive career paths of the recipients in my memory, and reminded her that I'd only taught for 4 years out in Quinter, which I like to refer to as McPherson College West Campus, since most of the town seems to be connected with the college somehow. My husband, Sean, who's one of those brilliant, sciencey medical people that I was referring to earlier, had started his dream job in Ellsworth in the fall of 2001. And at that time, there wasn't as much of a teacher shortage as there is now, so jobs in the middle of October weren't readily available. I'd always hoped to stay home when we had children anyway, so I began getting creative and finding ways to continue to be around kids and use my college degree and teaching experience without having a teaching career. Because of my involvement at various levels with school boards, I've gotten to know Dr. Randy Watson, the State Commissioner of Education, very well. A couple years ago, Randy and his posse traveled all over the state of Kansas asking teachers, administrators, and school board members exactly what their wish list would be for successful graduates from high school and college. And then after he received those answers, he realized that he needed to travel all over the state again to see what businesses and employers were looking for in future employees and college graduates. Maybe not so surprisingly, the results matched. Although everyone agreed that academics are important, the overwhelming message they took away from these meetings was that they want college graduates to have good social skills, be able to talk to people and get along, make good eye contact, have good manners, etc. They also wanted to see more service projects and volunteer hours encouraged for students in college and in high school. They wanted students to participate and be involved in a variety of activities. As I've listened to Dr. Watson's presentations a few times the last couple of years, my mind always goes back to McPherson College. Scholarship, participation, and service. Matt College knew all along what they were supposed to be doing for students, and the rest of Kansas agreed and had finally figured it out now too. I've been blessed to be able to not have a job for the last 16 years. Many people in Ellsworth say that I may be more busy than some who do. Maybe you've read this saying before, as I've seen it over and over again. Where you are today is no accident, God is using the situation you're in right now to shape and prepare you for the place that He wants to bring you into tomorrow. Trust Him and His plan, even if you don't understand it. I hope one day you'll look back and see how the pieces of the puzzle all fit together in your life and smile. And to close, and point out again sarcastically just how young I am to be able to receive this Young Alumni Award, I know that you all have to know Logan Schrog, since I see his name and pictures on all sorts of social media for the college, and I'm not even at the college or even in town. Logan's mom, Cheryl, was my cooperating teacher that I did my student teaching with. I guess she thought I did okay in the classroom, so I also got to walk to their home and babysit her infant son, Logan, and his sister at times. This makes me feel really young, since Logan is now in college here and nominated for Homecoming King this weekend. Also, I'd like to thank Mr. David Barrett. Don't know what class he was in. For agreeing to speak and present me with this honor and award. When I lived in Dotzer Hall in the late 90s, Dave and his wife, Linda, were the RDs. They were soon to be first-time parents. I believe it was our junior or senior year, and my roommate, Tricia, and I were constantly trying to tell Dave and Linda that we knew we had been such great role models and residents in their dorm that they'd for sure want to name their child after us if it were a girl. After all, Gina Tricia had a great ring to it, and they'd forever remember us. It came time, and they delivered a baby boy. There went the name idea. But Grant Barrett, you can thank Tricia and I for your name, as we always believed that the name Grant Thomas was given to you so that you'd still have the initials GT as part of your name. How can Grant be attending McPherson College and nearly the same age now that I was when he was born? More proof of how young I am. Enjoy making memories, serving others, and sharing smiles. And if given the chance to serve McPherson College in your future, say yes and stay connected. You'll never regret donating your time to the things that you love. Thank you.
With Nathanael Lander, what you see is what you get. He's genuine, he's committed to doing things well, and he has a natural curiosity that has led him on an interesting path. And on his journey, he's paved the way for others to follow. Those of you who aspire to be good at what you do, whether it's academics, athletics, creating, or performing, all of you know the work ethic, the motivation, and perseverance that it takes to be successful. And Nate has demonstrated that from the very beginning. As a child growing up in Ark City, Kansas, he was, as his mother says, hard to slow down. He spent countless hours at his father's side sharing a love for automobiles, really anything mechanical. Lawnmowers, cars, all kinds of equipment provided an outlet for Nate's insatiable curiosity and his desire to learn, qualities that are still a key part of who he is. In fact, Nate's wife, Jocelyn, who he met while volunteering in the media department in their church, says if there is something he doesn't know, he'll stay up all night reading and researching until he finds that answer. He's hungry for knowledge. While in high school, Nate played the string bass in the Wichita Youth Symphony and also worked at the local music store. Every day he vacuumed 16,000 square feet of carpet and cleaned 6 bathrooms, among many other responsibilities. And it was there where he learned many lessons, like doing every task to one's best ability and taking pride in one's work. When Nate came to McPherson College, he applied those lessons and his drive to learn and to grow to everything he did. He set out to do something that had never been done before: intern at the Mercedes-Benz Classic Center in Germany. The Classic Center is a workshop that serves as a guardian of the brand, of their tradition, by restoring historic cars and supporting the owners of vintage Mercedes-Benz automobiles. Nate says, "I knew that nobody was going to hand this to me." So carrying more than 20 hours each semester that year, he immersed himself in learning German and studying such notables as Gottlieb Daimler and Carl Benz. He worked with the Mercedes-Benz Club of America to broker conversations with the Classic Center in Germany. And he did it. He became the first McPherson College student and the first American to intern at the workshop in Stuttgart, Germany, where he spent 7 months fueling his knowledge of the marque. When he graduated from McPherson, Nate had 2 job offers. He accepted the one as a restoration technician with Mercedes-Benz, who was looking to establish a new classic center in the United States. At the time, the idea for a stateside classic center was nothing more than an idea on paper. Michael Kuntz, who manages the Classic Center in California, believes that most people would have been scared at the risk of taking a position at a place that didn't even exist. But he says, Nate's not scared of anything. If there's a challenge, he's up for it. And that was a good call. Nate ended up playing a key role in establishing the Classic Center, where he's now the workshop project manager. He supervises 9 full-time staff, including 4 McPherson College graduates, working on more than 20 active restoration projects. He travels around the country to major events representing the Mercedes-Benz brand and McPherson College. As far as he's gone in his career, he's never lost his love for McPherson College. He hosts an intern every year. Tim Cordabine was there this past summer. He returns regularly for our annual car show, and he's a great advocate for McPherson College. He's currently serving as an advisor on the auto restoration program's Moonshot to compete at the world's premier car competition with a car restored by our students. In addition to all of that, he and Jocelyn remain engaged at their church and have just taken on the renovation of an old house. Go figure. Nate is committed to excellence in everything he does and brings us a lot of Bulldog pride. President Schneider, for his exemplary service to profession, church, and college, I hereby present Mr. Nathanael Lander for the Young Alumni Award.
I'm going digital here. First of all, thank you, Amanda, and thank you to the alumni and to the instructors and staff and everybody here at McPherson College. Thank you very much. I'm very honored. As you said, Gina said earlier, it's nice to be known as a young alumni. I'll hold on to it as long as I can. I grew up in a small town, Ark City, it's just south of Wichita, and whenever I'm back at McPherson for whatever it is, maybe advising on the project, this is coming home for me. So it's always nice to come back home, see my parents, see my brother, and come back. My wife is from El Salvador, so when she comes to Kansas, it's like really coming to a different country for her. As many of you that are not from Kansas that go to school here know, this isn't like a lot of the other places in the United States, but it's a very special place. Never in my wildest dreams could I have imagined that my path would have taken me to the places that it's taken me. As a small boy, my job was handing tools to my dad. That's how I got started in all of this, and it's come a long way from since then. I've had the opportunity to work with car celebrities like Jay Leno and Jerry Seinfeld, but I've also experienced things that I never would have imagined. I shot a music video with Jay-Z in New York, and I hung out with Jay-Z till like 3 o'clock in the morning in Times Square. Never would have thought of that was being possible growing up in Kansas. And this was when Beyonce had just started dating Jay-Z, so there was a lot of commotion about that. The paparazzi were going crazy. On the other hand of that, there's the whole celebrity side of it and kind of the interesting things that happen on that side. But there's also the day-to-day. When I go back to California on Monday, I'll go back to the workshops and my team. And like Amanda said, 4 of those team members are that sat in the same seats that you're sitting in now. And I'll make sure that they have what they need to do their job. That's my job, is to make sure that they're equipped with what they need to go on. And that's exactly what the faculty, the professors are here for you to do. They're doing the same job that I'm trying to do on a different scale, with giving you the tools that you need to do what you need to do in the future. Working with that team has been the greatest pleasure in my life, and one of my greatest achievements was to be able to help lead other team members. I have the youngest McPherson College graduate, Wes, graduated a couple years ago in his early 20s. My oldest technician is 67 years old. So I have a broad scope of different types of backgrounds and personalities to deal with, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a huge challenge. You know, I get to interview an intern at McPherson College. They have a new program where we come and other organizations will come in from the automotive world and hire interns for summer work. We had Tim this summer, and I interviewed, I think, about 10 McPherson College students, and the comment I had to Amanda and Brian was, I'm amazed at the quality of the students. Every one of them I could have hired and been completely happy with. And so that's a testament to what the faculty and staff is doing here at McPherson College. I just ask that in your future, you know, there's going to be a CEO in this room. There's doctors, lawyers, you know, CEOs, leaders, team leaders, managers, teachers. I just ask that when it comes time to pass on the next generation, to the next generation, that you think of McPherson College, hire an intern, hire someone from where you came from, and sort of continue to spread that, the knowledge that you've gained. You know, a lot of people ask, well, what the heck does Mercedes-Benz have to do with McPherson College? And I like to think, being a Mercedes-Benz diehard through and through, is that we're the best brand in the world associated with the best college in the world. So thank you very much.
Last year, a student said something to me that strikes me as very appropriate for the occasion. He said, a small community is really just a great big family. And so congratulations to our recipients, Erin and Gina and Nate. Thank you for making your family very proud. Congratulations.
It's my privilege in this part of the program to present the 2017-2018 Teaching Awards to one tenured member of the McPherson College faculty and one non-tenured member of the faculty. First, the non-tenured recipient of our Teaching Award. The recipient of the Teaching Award for an untenured faculty member has quickly established a reputation as one of our faculty's best scholars and teachers. Our recipient is a professor who really knows his material, one student writes. A colleague notes that the recipient's knowledge of his field is extensive and he is constantly contributing to the body of research in his field. Other students point to our recipient's engaging teaching style. Aside from his knowledge of the field, writes one, he finds metaphors and analogies to get his points across. He always encourages discussion and is open to solving problems creatively. Another says, he's very understanding and open to answering questions regardless of how redundant they may be. Our recipient students especially appreciate his passion for his discipline and his teaching. You can see how interested he is in the subjects he teaches, a student writes. His passion is literally felt in the classroom and makes it so much easier to learn. Both students and colleagues have noted our recipient's participation in service on behalf of our campus community. He has seen it every event on campus, from sports to band to theater. There is not a program that he doesn't support. A colleague notes that he has jumped in with both feet to do the tough work of committees and the tough but more fun work of sponsoring student groups. To conclude, see if you pick up a theme from the following student comments. He is definitely one of the best teachers I've ever had. He is my favorite teacher. I respect this man. And great guy, even better professor. Would Assistant Professor of Philosophy and Religion, Dr. Kirk MacGregor, please join me on stage. Very well deserved. Thank you. And now for the award for the tenured faculty member. The selection committee noted that some, if not most, of the outstanding teaching performed by the recipient of this year's teaching award for a tenured faculty member occurs outside the formal classroom setting. But those who wrote about this professor point out that he is no slouch inside the classroom either. His class is always entertaining, writes one student. The topics of conversation always keep the class interesting, and he doesn't shy away from jumping right into the arguments with us. I always looked forward to going to this professor's class, wrote another. I knew he would teach me something new. Importantly, adds yet another, he always reevaluates his teaching based on the needs of students. It's an invaluable behavior that goes a long way to explain his success. Several students noted this professor's ability to mentor and inspire. He was a great help with my senior project, one said. He provided great insight and ideas. I couldn't have completed it without his help. A freshman remarked that she had been on campus barely a month, yet this professor has already had an impact on me. He is a very caring guy. One of the students already quoted observed that this professor shows true character excellence and leads by example. As noted earlier, much of the learning that takes place under this man's tutelage takes place outside the traditional classroom. Indeed, much of it occurs right on this stage. He has directed some of McPherson College's best shows, one of his students write, and he has done so by helping actors grow in such ways that audience members think they are at a professional event. To see for yourself, I encourage you to come to one of the performances of Charlie's Aunt this weekend. J.D. Bowman, Associate Professor of Theater. How convenient that you're already on stage, given we're cutting it close to the time to end this convocation. Congratulations on being selected. Take the kids out.
Okay, everyone up? Okay, on your tiptoes for the benediction. Throughout this weekend, homecoming weekend, throughout the rest of your life, may every song that you sing be implicitly a hymn. May every word that you utter be implicitly a prayer. May every morsel of food that you eat be the delicious taste of communion. Christ's handprints are found in places he never touched. His footprints are found in places he never walked. If you listen on our campus to the wind, the word kanza means wind, it means spirit, it means pneuma, it means chi, it means energy. The love of God, like honey flowing through a honeycomb, is everywhere. Thank you for coming to our homecoming. Seamus?